What's up, YouTube land? Zeno Gaming here, and I am ready for the second episode, but the first proper episode of my new F122 series on my team. So, without too much waiting around, not much to intro. New series, new team. Zeno Racing is once again back here. New generations
I'm
of
Andrea.
cars.
I'm head of the R&D for the team. To get used to hearing a lot from me. Your workstation is set up and ready for you. So get settled in, because we have a lot of work to do. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And welcome to the team.
Alrighty, thank you, Andrea. Welcome to the team yourself. But yeah, new generation of cars, new game, and yeah, without further ado, we'll go through the Bahrain Grand Prix in due course, and it should be an interesting one with the new car. So we'll see how everything unfolds. We're hoping we can score some points, but you don't know how this first race is going to unfold on the new game. So, without further ado, we'll just jump straight into the weekend. So let's get into it.
Don't push the car just yet. Track is still green. Try to take it easy for the first couple of laps.
Thank you, Mark. That's, the engineer name is Mark. It's a new engineer. It's no longer Jeff, so rest in peace, Jeff. And here is Mark, a new engineer. So, anyway, getting ready for my first time in the new car. And I had done some practice in an Alpine on time trial, and I did one 5-lap race, but then I jumped straight into this car. First time on a cold tyre, hard tyre, coming through turn 2, half throttle, and it looped. So, realising how much trickier these cars are on a cold tyre. Remember, the blankets are less, they don't heat up the tyres as much as warm as they used to, so tyres are colder coming out of the pit lane. But now settling in to the practice program and settling into the pace of the car. And when I come across the line, I jumped out of the bottom, so I actually thought that was quite decent. I thought I'd done a decent time. And now doing the tyre program, and you can see different graphics for the tyre management program. Got this big graphic really right in your face, and yeah, you get the green, you get the red, and the purple. Obviously you're aiming for the purple. I'm pretty sure the line on the track is like where you're doing well and where you're not doing so well with your tyre wear. It's a different kind of concept, but it's interesting to see how it's the same concept in theory. It's just thrown at you differently, and it looks pretty cool visually, but also can be quite distracting, I'd say. It's a lot of visuals thrown at you, and it can be a bit much for maybe people who don't play the game so much, but for us people who play it quite regularly, this is maybe not so bad and quite different to look at. I don't mind it, but also it is a bit much. But anyway, we go into the purple here on this lap while going half a second quicker on our time, so well done there. And we're currently sitting in 11th with that time, so it's not too shabby at all. But yeah, we went through practice, and the car was decently competitive, and I'd put in some pretty decent times, and we weren't last, so that was a positive. But now we'll jump into qualifying and see what we can do. So here we go, our first run in Q1 on a soft tyre, and let's see what we can do coming through the final call. Sebastian Vettel does a 1 minute 30.2 in the Aston Martin, which is not as quick as our car, So we come across the line and we do a 1 minute 30.86, tenths slower than Vettel and Piastri, who's only P4. There's the quickest car sign doing a 28.5, so we're a bit off the pace of that. Obviously, we knew we couldn't compete with that Ferrari, but we should be able to compete with the Vettel. So here we go, you can see we're much improving our time, but coming out of turn 10, once again, we use the rear end on traction. Very tricky, the traction is on these cars, so yeah, trying to get fine in our grips with it, but you know, coming to back to the pit lane, and we're sitting currently 19th and 20th, so yeah, it's interesting, but we'll see what we can do. Couple of tenths quicker than Piastri, but we need to improve on our last run. But coming to the feeling of the car on this game, we're gonna go into our fastest lap here of Q1 and see if we can get into Q2. So while this lap is going on in the bracket, I'm just going to explain how I feel about the handling model and the car itself, and I think it is a much better feeling on this year's game than it was on last year's game. It just feels a lot nicer to drive. The traction is much harsher, so if you are too harsh with the throttle, you will lose the rear end and spin. And after doing this first race at Bahrain, I understand that I have a long way to go to get to my maximum potential. So also one thing I didn't exactly have was a proper car setup. I kind of do something very basic together with pretty much a default setup. So yeah, I'll probably look into it a bit more for the second race, because I think it will definitely help in having a proper car setup on the car, finding a couple of extra tenths just on performance like that. So yeah, coming to just going into the entry of the corner feels so much nicer. It feels like the car can actually get turned in though, and for me anyway, I felt like I struggled a lot with turning the car and getting it rotated through the corner, so it feels a lot nicer. And as you can see here, on my second lap now, we're currently 6 tenths of a second up, which is quicker than Vettel's original time, but will that be enough to get me through to Q2 here? So we're going 7 tenths up now, so we are going to do a 1 minute 30.1 over 30.0 across the line, so where's that first? Only 9 tenths however, so really disappointing not to be into Q2 there. Leclerc fastest here in Q1, but let's see who is into Q2 and who isn't. Piastri is into Q2, and so is Sebastian Vettel. We had to do a 1 minute 29.7, so 3 tenths off Q2. Zhou in 17th, Albon 18th, 19th for myself, Latifi. Ricciardo disappointing in 21st, considering Norris is in P14 and Stroll is at the back of the grid. So that's how it lines up for Q1, but we'll see how the rest of the grid lines up when I hand it over to Crofty now.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Ocon, and Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Gasly, Lando Norris, and Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Vettel, Guan Yu Zhou, and Alex Albon, Jackson, Latifi, Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So here we go, guys. Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Welcome to F122. Please leave a like on this. Subscribe if you want more F122 content from myself. If you enjoy this style of video and if you enjoy my content. But anyway, we're going to be starting on a soft tyre to the medium. It's what the game recommended on a personalised strategy, so that's what I'm going with. Most of the field is starting on the medium compound tyre, which would make a lot of sense. So this tyre is now gone. Anybody can start on any tyre they want. So there we go. And we're now going to come round and play my first formation lap, and this is a new thing on the game. You gotta put your car into the grid stop, which is what I wanted when the game first introduced the formation lap. It just never happened this way. So we'll now line the car up into position, and I'm doing it very slowly. I didn't want to make a mess of it on the first ever time doing this, and I go very slowly. But I stopped there right in the perfect position, and now we got the 5 red lights, and let's go here in Bahrain, and we get a decent start on the soft tyre, remember, and we launch past Albon and Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, and now down the inside into turn 1 we've gained a few positions. We've got Piastri, Vettel, Norris all around us, and I think it's Vettel and Norris, yes, side by side, and we get past both of them, past our teammate Piastri, so good start. And now I'm looking down the inside here, and Tsunoda's locked up and left the gap, so we take 13th position away from him. What a start, 19th on the grid, already up to 13th position, so making the most of this first lap on the soft compound tyre. We'll have a look in the Schumacher. Yes, I will, into turn 8, down the inside, and now that we cautious on the forward, don't want to spin the car, and he gets a better exit and is able to keep the position. So decent start, very good start, not decent, but you can see they're fighting the car near to fighting the traction, and that makes me vulnerable to Tsunoda here into turn 11, but he's now got the crisscross underneath. Tsunoda now trying to go around the outside here at 13, no way, turn 12, no way I was going to let him go through that on the outside at 12, so yes, we managed to hold on to 13th position, so what a first lap that has been of this new series. Mark's on the radio, he's all chuffed up, and Verstappen leads the Grand Prix, so good on him. And now we'll see Leclerc is in the pit, so already trouble for one of the championship contenders potential, and Charles Leclerc in the pits early on, and now coming here lap 2, and one of the Alpines is completely out of control. That's Ocon, and Schumacher and Gasly have gone completely into him. Ocon picks up a penalty. Gasly's out, Schumacher's out, Tsunoda's out, and Norris is also out. Wow, that is yeah, don't know what's happened there.
Right, they've got a serious car issue.
So
it looks like they're retiring.
That's a really strange accident, and we're going to have to check the replay camera to see what happened. Here is Ocon heading into the final corner, ahead of his teammate Alonso, behind Valtteri, and just spins out, and the cars behind just cannot avoid him here, and there's a bit of a traffic jam here at the last corner, and you can see the damage to Schumacher's car, to Tsunoda, Gasly and Norris, so they are all out of this Grand Prix as cars go through. A lot of damage there to Lance Stroll's car. My teammate Piastri was caught up in that, but he hasn't got damage. Vettel's in the pits. I think Stroll was pulling over to retire, so he's out of this Grand Prix as well. And now we've had a safety car. No one pitted under the safety car apart from the drivers who needed repair. So now we come here for a restart, and we're looking to make up some positions here. On once again the soft tyre, we had a decent launch. I just have to hold up a bit, not to overtake Alonso for the line. And you can see we've got the same engine in mine Alonso's car, and I think this is car set up here. I'm losing so much time in the straight. Ocon comes in though, like a crazy person in turn one and breaks his front wing. I think he broke it on the back of Alonso, who overtakes Hamilton, does Fernando. And now we're looking to get past Bottas. We made, I believe, a position, but we lost onto Ocon as we now go down the inside of Bottas. Hamilton's coming back at Fernando in the better, quicker Mercedes, but Alonso's taking none of it. Alonso on side by side with Lewis. Hamilton is still side by side. Ocon's got damaged car. I almost spun on the curb. Alonso hits ahead of Hamilton, and I tried to get ahead of Bottas there, but there was no way to do this time. And then they get a tap. It was a little bit wide, and this one taps my rear, so Joe Guan Yu might have picked up some damage himself there, but now there's more incidents on track which resulting in debris, and that would be Ocon's debris. I had a terrible run out once again out of the air. I'm much stronger out of that corner compared to myself, and I managed to hold the position ahead of Joe Guan Yu. But now Bottas is trying to overtake Ocon, who's got damage. You can see the time we've lost the cars ahead already, and Ocon's in a pull into the pit lane. Don't know why he was fighting so hard. But now we'll see what we can do compared to Valtteri Bottas here. So lap 7, and still lap 7, going to the end of the first sector, and you can see that Daniel Ricciardo is now out of the Grand Prix. So disastrous weekend for McLaren. Double retirement as Hamilton was overtaking Alonso there. This is the same lap. I've cut out a couple of corners, and now we're going to have a spin, a really lazy spin, and I just couldn't believe I spun there. I didn't really feel like I did anything wrong, and it's actually caused a safety car. I don't know if it's because of me spinning or Ricardo's out. I don't know if there was a bit of an incident there between Vettel and Albon. I probably should have checked. The Latifi didn't hit me, that he pretty much stopped to avoid me and not overtake me, so yeah, I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. I didn't feel like I was that harsh on the throttle. But anyway, now time comes for our first immersive pit stop on the new game. Let's see how I do. And I didn't even know what button I had to press up until this point right here when it said X. And I tried to time this as best as I could, and I just didn't time it right. It got it late, and a bit of a slower pit stop, which might cost me a bit of time, but we still actually jumped Latifi and Vettel because they had to double stack, I guess. So we now move into 12th position, and once again we're on a cold hard tyre. So let's see if I've learned anything from practice and what I've already done in this race, which is spin, and not even going half throttle, and the car just absolutely loops. I didn't even think I was pushing, and yeah, it just spins. You got to be really, really careful, it seems, and I've made another mistake, and yeah, really struggling on the cold hard tyre. So yeah, here we go. Safety car is now going to be in here at the end of lap 9, so lap 10. I'm on the hard tyre. I'm going to the end of the Grand Prix. I'm not pitting again. A lot of the AI on the soft compound tyre, so they're on a weird strategy here, doing another stop to go to the end. So we're in a really good position here in this Grand Prix. And you can see how much time we're losing in the straight, so I definitely need to look into that, into the next Grand Prix, which is Saudi Arabia, which we know top speed will be pretty important. Ocon and Vettel, there's more car and driver left at turn 1. Vettel's made a position up on Latifi, so I'm just following the pack out, seeing if I can take advantage of anything. And now I want you to have a look at my throttle trace here as we come in to overtake Ocon, and look how gentle I go on the throttle, third gear, and not even full throttle, not even 70%, and the car just loops. So yeah, I need the short shift there into 4th, but incredible how easy it is to spin the car on a cold tyre. It's got to a temperature. But Russell's in pit lane, he was the one who popped damage. Next lap, so that's pretty much, I think, Leclerc's in the pit lane, that puts us into 14th. And then next lap, it's Ocon and Bottas in the pit lane, so that puts us into 12th. So cars are just pitting every single lap. Next lap, again, same thing, got more cars in the pit lane. This time a few more, to Alonso, Vettel, Piastri, Schumacher, I think. There's, sorry, a little bit Max, Schumacher's out. Hamilton was in, and Verstappen, we come out right next to Max Verstappen, and we get ahead of him, and he's now on the cold hard tyre, so it's going to take him a lap for his tyre speed up temperature. You can see we're at 1.3 seconds on him. He's probably just getting up to speed now. There's more cars in the pit lane, including Perez and Carlos Sainz. We're going to come out side by side with Sainz, and we're going to leave him space to turn 1. We get past Sainz, and now he's going to deal with Verstappen with his tyres at the front, and we can pull away from Sainz, as we do here. We're a second, 9/10 clear of Sainz, 1 second through the corner, and now Latifi's the last car to pit. He's in the lane, so we're going to be taking the lead of the Grand Prix. Can you believe that in our first race we're leading? And now Valtteri Bottas is out of the Grand Prix. And we have another safety car.
Due to multiple cars being stopped on track. Fine.
Wow, the third safety car of the Grand Prix. No one pits under that safety car. Everybody's going to the end. It's going to be a 10-lap dash to the end of this Grand Prix. Let's see where we can finish. The safety car didn't help us. It's quite a nice gap from the midfield. Everyone bunches up. And we go green flag racing, and we get a good restart. I go right out of the
Green flag.
where I know they can't pass me.
4.6 seconds.
Now, getting into turn 1, we've got to defend from the whole field, but realistically, I know we're probably not going to be able to defend from Sainz, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez. They're in much faster cars, so you can already see, look at the run Sainz is getting on the run up to turn 4. Carlos Sainz goes down the inside here, and we leave him space, and he's not able to get through here on this occasion.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to
So,
utilise some of
yeah,
this
I
energy.
probably
Come
should
on.
have, I'll agree with Mark on that one. I probably should have used the overtake button a little bit more heading into that corner, but now Sainz looks to the outside here, and there's actually contact going into the hairpin there, and he gets to switch back on me though, coming out of turn 8, and into turn 9, he's so much faster, he's able to overtake there, and he just goes straight off the racetrack though. I missed the apex at 10, which allows Max Verstappen to get a much better run out of turn 10, and he's there side by side with me. I'm using my overtake mode, but he drives straight past me very easily, and Verstappen takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And now I got Lewis Hamilton behind me pressuring me, but he's not side by side or anything, but look in the mirror, he just goes completely off the track. I don't know what happened to Hamilton there. So now we have Sergio Perez behind us. He lines up to get past the Sainz, tried to do it, made a mistake. Verstappen did do it. Hamilton tried to do it, couldn't do it, and he made a mistake. So now it's up to Sergio Perez to see if he can make this a Red Bull 1-2 here in Bahrain. To put right the wrong of real life. Can Sergio Perez do that for Red Bull? The double retired here in real life. Can they make it a 1-2 in my team series in episode number 2? A little bit of contact there with Perez, but he gets past me without DRS pretty easily. So now we're sitting in 3rd with Zhou Guanyu behind us for 4th. But here is the contact with Sainz. You can see he actually breaks his front wing, right there. And then, I don't know what the AI are doing here. I mean, he tries to drive around the outside. He drives off the track and then does kind of almost a full stop. And now we're going to jump on board with Lewis Hamilton to see what happened to him. So Sainz, you can see he's still way up in the background, stop, pretty much leading the whole field through. And then, I don't know, let's see what happens here with Hamilton. He's very close to the back of me, but he's not trying to make a move or anything. And then he just goes off the racetrack. He's sort of like he's trying to retire from the race. I don't know, it's really weird. And then he's reversing. All these cars are going through. He goes forward. Sainz goes through. That was Sainz, and now he comes back on the track last. So yeah, really weird. It really hurts his Grand Prix. I'll tell you that now. Really odd. And then I just happen to move on to Piastri here, and he makes that incredible dive on there, Sebastian Vettel, which is going to be important. So great move there by Piastri. But now moving on, and yeah, we're fighting with the guys behind. We're actually keeping them quite behind us, and at a decent gap. We pulled a bit of a gap on them, but you can see I made a huge error, and it allows Zhou Guanyu and Fernando Alonso to go through to 3rd and 4th. And that little moment for me just held up Zhou a little bit, and that meant Alonso gets through for 3rd place. And now we lost about 7 seconds, but we're holding Piastri behind in our DRS so we can defend Vettel. But on this particular lap, we got out of the DRS, and I was a little bit too quick on this lap, and it means Vettel's going to have a shot to line up Oscar on the final lap of the Grand Prix here. So I have moved quite quickly into the last lap. I mean, nothing happened. Piastri never attacked me. Vettel attacked Piastri, however, and they're swapping. They're going side by side. Vettel and Piastri. Piastri gets it back through turns 2 and 3, and holds his run on his line up way to turn 4 to keep position. So Verstappen wins from a Red Bull 1-2. Fernando Alonso takes the podium he probably deserves in real life, and we show when he finishes his debut 4th, another debutant finishes 5th, and another debutant finishes 6th with the trophy for a breakdown of the race. But I'll take it another day, and I probably don't deserve it.
Smiling faces on the pit wall then after that superb win here at Sakir. And rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So yeah, what a race, and Red Bull put the wrongs of real life with a 1-2 finish here in Bahrain, but Alonso puts right the wrong of Montreal with a podium finish for Alpine. But a 4th place finish for us is not too bad, so I'll take that, and yeah, we'll go to the result page now. We'll see what more Crofty has to say.
So let's review the drivers' standings. Max Verstappen's excellent result today sees him take over as the new leader of the Drivers' Championship. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Jackson. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. And Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
And you can see the final results. Vettel in 7th, Ocon 8th, Russell 9th, and Albon picks up a point for Williams in 10th, so well done to him. Really strange race. You can see a lot of drivers making a lot of stops. Magnussen did 4 pit stops, Hamilton did 2, Sainz did 3, Leclerc did a 6-stop race. Like, weird, really weird. Here's the standings. I know the drivers are the same, but the teams, Red Bull take the maximum apart from the fastest lap, which Leclerc took, so no point for him. Alpine in 2nd, and we are in 3rd. Unbelievable. So, but now talking about my race, I'm spun 3 times, and yeah, the traction is really tricky to get on top of. So, you know, I'll have to just be much more patient on the throttle, and obviously just drive with a bit more care. The pace wasn't too bad though. I mean, my laps, my speed was pretty good. So we definitely could fight in this car 4 points for sure. We're lucky to score a 5th place here and a 6th today. The AI had some weird strategies, and yeah, the safety car also made 3 appearances, which you don't expect. So I don't know if I have to turn that setting down. I had it on the highest setting, obviously increased, but maybe I should turn it down. I'll see a few races how it goes, and if it's every race too frequent, then I'll turn it down. If not, we'll see. But anyway, first things first, we had a department event, and
The personnel department has asked us
we're
to
going to go
deal
with the
with
pace here.
have a
Easy,
couple of options
peasy, +7 for the
Take
Oscar
your
will
time.
be lovely for the next few
Well, you
Grand Prix.
handled that well.
And
Thank
then we're going to make an upgrade to the car, obviously, and we're going to do it on the engine, because that's where we're lacking the most. So that's where we're going to go with, the engine, and we'll hopefully see some improved performance in the next few races. But anyway, we've got
Our new
also
parts are
the
completed
Pirelli
without
hot
issue.
laps, and this
They'll
is
be
the
on the
first
car
iteration
for the
of it.
next race weekend.
And we'll see how these cars go. And here's really the best run I did in the McLaren. Yeah, I only played it for a couple of minutes, so I didn't really try too hard to get the goal. I mean, this is the best run I had, and just getting the throttle on as early as possible through this corner. The earlier you can do it, and you got the speed, the better you'll be able to beat this. It's not too difficult. I didn't beat it, but you know, think I spend another 5 minutes, I'll probably do better. Just finding the right line and how confident you are with the throttle. But this is a beautiful car to drive. But anyway, guys, that's really going to be all from me today. Please leave a like on this first race. It was a brilliant result. And I'll see you for the next one at Jeddah. Once again, back at that straight circuit. So, till then, goodbye.